Donald Trump just returned to Washington, D.C., a terrible return as he first landed in Joint Air Force Andrews Base. You can see him struggling down the stairs right there. Donald Trump returning to an absolutely disastrous market as a result of him just having one of the worst foreign trips imaginable in China. $1.2 trillion was wiped out from U.S. stocks today. S&P 500 was down 1.2%, wiping off $900 billion from its market cap. NASDAQ was down 1.5%, wiping out $525 billion from its market cap. This is the largest single day crash in many, many, many months. You look at the 10-year yields right now on the treasuries. It's at 4.59%. This is the highest level since May 22nd of 2025. That was after Liberation Day, after Donald Trump's disastrous tariffs against the world, and then he had to reverse course. You look at the 30-year yields above 5.96. The 2-year yields at 4.065. Now, Iran's foreign minister Araghchi is pointing it out as well, that Americans are told they must absorb the rocketing costs of war of choice on Iran, put aside gas price hikes and stock market bubbles. The real pain begins when the U.S. debt and mortgage rates start to jump. Auto loan delinquencies are already at a 30-year high. This was all avoidable. Iran clearly knows what is the pressure points and pain points here in the United States. I will show you what Donald Trump did right before landing. He gave another interview with state regime media, which calls itself Fox. Folks, it was an absolute disaster with Bret Baier. Bret Baier asked that Donald Trump clarify his statements where he said he doesn't care about Americans' financial situation. Donald Trump says that was a perfect statement. I do not care about the financial condition, the financial situation, the finances of the American people. Watch what Donald Trump says. Let's play this clip.
Numbers are. You can imagine Democrats and political pundits jumped all over this statement that you made the other day. You were asked when you were leaving.
What extent are American financial situations motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about American financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing. We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. That's all.
That's right. That's a perfect statement. I'd make it again.
You can imagine how many people stop the soundbite I don't think about America's financial situation. So what's your response to that framework?
It's very simple. When people hear me say it, everybody agrees. Short-term pain. It's going to be short-term pain. But the pain is much less than people thought.
Then regarding inflation and gas prices, Donald Trump says, little pain is good. That's what we want, a little bit of pain. Here, play this clip.
I call it a little pain. Look, I agree. The oil goes up, but it's going to come down lower than it was. It'll be down lower than it was. Now, speed. I hate to talk about speed.
I understand.
Because I don't like putting pressure on all of the people. I want to do the job right. If it takes an extra 4 weeks, but think of it. We're in Vietnam for 19 years. I'm doing this for two and a half months.
Then Donald Trump claims that Iran had previously closed the Strait of Hormuz with other presidents. He says they've always closed it in the past, but right now they're not using it as a weapon. In the past, they would always use it as a weapon. What are you talking about? When did Iran close down the Strait of Hormuz and use it as a weapon? More lies from Donald Trump upon landing. Let's play this clip.
They've been holding up the world for many, many years with the Strait. You know, they've used this many, many times. They said, we'll close the Strait. They've closed it in the past. They use it as a weapon. They're not using it as a weapon with me. And what they did, and actually what President Xi said last night, sort of smiling about it, he said, well, they close the Strait and then you close them.
But you think they're going to capitulate sometime soon?
Yeah, sure. Okay. I have no doubt.
Mr. President, stand by if you...
Then Bret Baier reads statements from Trump's own voters, talking about how hard their lives are right now, how difficult it is to survive, how they can't afford anything. Watch Donald Trump's response to that. Let's play this clip.
When you hear Trump voters, Alex says, I voted for you 3 times. He can't handle the costs. And he's not for this foreign conflict.
I hate it, Brett.
He's not for the foreign conflict, but Roy in Pennsylvania, he's a retired farmer. he can't handle the fuel going up, and he says he's
going to come down very fast.
And
well,
so,
look, I'm disappointed.
I'm just telling you what they
say. When you say to him, Roy, Alex, we got a problem. We just hit the highest stock market price ever. By the way, then, when I went in. Now, again,
it's higher.
With the war, it's higher than it was when I went in. Think of that.
I agree.
The 401ks at their all-time high. There are more people working right now in the United States of America than at any point ever in the history of our country.
Detroit Free Press, a state that you won. While champagne flowed on the trading floor and President Donald Trump celebrated.
Then Donald Trump claims that he has 9 cameras that are currently trained on nuclear facilities in Iran. And he says he's looking for Mohammeds, he says, because everybody's name is Mohammed, he says, in Iran. Let's play this clip.
It's important, it's important. It's probably good enough for a different reason, though. Space Force, which I created, has got cameras, 9 different cameras in space on that site. We know everybody that moves there. We can read the name of a person. We can need, if his name is Mohammed something, and most of them are Mohammed, you can guess about 50% right. We can read his name right on his tag from space. It's the most amazing thing. Anybody that goes near that space, we have it tagged.
Then Donald Trump says that we've already completed the job when it comes to wiping out Iran's nuclear capabilities. He said, so the only reason why we're even doing any of this right now, he says, it's good public relations. We need to do better public relations. So that's why we need to send troops in to get the nuclear dust. Here, let's play this clip.
Very specifically, because I deal with them. I said, we're taking the nuclear dust. They said, you can have it. I said, we're going to go get it. We're not going to let you take it. They said, we can't take it. We don't have the capability of taking it. I said, why? I said, because it was hit so hard. I mean, the mountain literally collapsed on it, a granite mountain.
So why isn't that good
Just
enough?
so you know. Well,
I mean, if your goal was to set back.
It is good enough, but you know what? It's not good enough public relations-wise. It's important, it's important. It's probably good enough for a different reason, though.
So then Donald Trump is asked if he brought up Jimmy Lai on his trip to China, the Catholic individual from Hong Kong, the media mogul. And this was a major issue for MAGA and lots of people actually going into the 2024 election. Trump said he would be so easily be able to free Jimmy Lai. He would just go to Xi Jinping and say, Jimmy, let's get Jimmy out. That's what Donald Trump was saying during the 2024 election. Of course, that didn't happen. Here's what Donald Trump said about that. Let's play this clip.
I will say that I brought up Jimmy Lai, and I would say the response to that was not positive. He said that he's been, said it's been sort of his worst nightmare. It was,
opposition.
He went through a whole thing. And I said, well, would appreciate if you would release him. He's gotten old and he's probably not feeling too well. It would be nice. And I did not feel optimistic. I have to be honest with you about that one.
Then Donald Trump said the most significant accomplishment that was made on this trip, no deals, nothing for our economy. He goes, he helped the relationship though. And that's a big deal that he says that his relationship and Xi Jinping's relationship was much better, he claims. It's the personal relationship. That's what he says was the accomplishment. What are you talking about? Here, play this clip.
Welcome back to Beijing. Mr. President, thanks for the time.
Thank you.
You said that this summit is a success. As you get ready to head back to Washington, what's the most significant, specific thing you walk away from here for the U.S.?
I think the most important thing is relationship. It's all about relationship. I have a very good relationship with President Xi and with China. And it sounds like something that doesn't mean anything, but it's everything. And deal making and problems we've solved.
Then Donald Trump says he doesn't know what to even call Taiwan, whether to call Taiwan country. He goes, we'll call it a place because nobody knows how to call Taiwan. Really? You think nobody knows how to call Taiwan? Can you see how he just threw Taiwan under the bus? Here, play this clip.
You were still inside the meeting when that came out. That sounded almost like a threat. Was it communicated that way behind closed doors?
No, it wasn't, not at all. But it has always been their most important issue. And it's not a takeover. They just don't want to see this place. We'll call it a place because nobody knows how to define it. But they don't want to see it go independent. They don't want to do it.
Then Donald Trump said that, yes, Xi Jinping did say that America was a nation in decline. And Donald Trump said, yeah, I did tell him we are in decline, or we were in decline, but I've made it hot. Here, play this clip.
Are destroying our country, and we have to stop. And President Xi said something yesterday. He talked about, and he wasn't referring to the last 15 months, he talked about America's a nation in decline. And I said, you're right. But he wasn't talking about, because he said, what you've done in 14, 15 months is a miracle.
Also, Donald Trump talks about not giving weapons to Taiwan. And Brett Baer said, so did Xi like that you said you may not give weapons to Taiwan? And Donald Trump's like, well, like is a very strong word. I mean, do you realize what they're talking about right here? Betraying Taiwan, giving in to Xi Jinping in China, discussing America's ability to provide arms to Taiwan, which was a policy that America would never do with China. But watch him to do it right there. Here, play this clip.
Backing us,
So President Xi probably liked that you haven't approved the weapons to Taiwan.
I would say like is maybe too strong a word, because he thinks I could do it with just the signing of my signature, unlike Biden, who couldn't sign his signature. No, I'm holding that in abeyance, and it depends on China. It depends. It's a very good negotiating chip for us, frankly. It's a lot of weapons. It's $12 billion. It's a lot of weapons. But
then Donald Trump claims we made a fortune in Venezuela. Okay, well, if we made a fortune, who's making all this money? Here, play this clip.
And it's a strong country with a strong military, but it went very quickly. And now, by the way, we have made a fortune with their oil. And so if they've made more money in the last 8 months than they'd made in the last 10 years. And we're really, participating in the profit.
Venezuela, but obviously Iran is
it's a different kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But we're doing probably almost as well as, I don't know how you can do better.
Well, there you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. Disastrous arrival by Donald Trump back to the United States. We'll keep you posted every step of the way. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.